My name is Vuong, and I want to talk about something for you to think about the next time you buy a dog. When I was growing up, I was always told that pure breeds was better than mixed breeds, right? And that you should only buy them from breeders and not from the shelter. I'm not buying them from the shelter, but getting them from the shelter. And I thought that, but the first dog I gotten was from the shelter, and I didn't see really a difference, right? I still took care of him, loved him, and all of that. And I didn't care that it wasn't a pure breed, right? And I don't think you should either. When I looked up, I found that there was a lot of differences in that pure breeds might look a lot better. They weren't healthier in the sense that some of them have inherent birth defects that was caused by the breeding that can be very harmful for the dog and are very dangerous and deadly. Even so, people still get pure breeds from breeders without doing the research and looking into it. I'll be discussing the types of pure breeds with birth defects and what causes these defects and why we should think about adopting from shelters before buying them from these type of breeders. I mean, I'm not saying all pure breeds are bad. The dogs aren't at fault. It's mostly the people who run them, and people should research those people before going to those places. The problem is that people don't investigate it and don't understand the risks of having a pure breed and the health problems that these dogs might have without knowing. Because you might get a golden retriever thinking it's all good, but then it will have a whole bunch of medical conditions you didn't know about. Some of them would need a lot of surgery, and it will cost. And these surgeries aren't that cheap, like for their legs, their mouths, for breathing, a lot of that. In a study by Time magazine, as many as 1 in 4 purebred dogs is infected with serious genetic defects. Some of these dogs are bulldogs, boxers, golden retrievers, and pugs. Some of these defects that the dogs might have are breathing problems, eye disease, deafness, and bone cancer, and diabetes. I didn't know dogs can get diabetes. I did not know that. And this is only a few of the birth defects these dogs can have. There's a lot more severe ones and there's a lot more dogs that can have it too. The cause of these dogs are having is us trying to breed the perfect dog and having a certain traits of these dogs having. And and as time went on, when they were breeding it, it started to have negative effects. The root of the genetic cause problems came about the past 2 centuries, said Matteri. Matteri. This happened because people wanted the perfect dog. And they wanted it to look in a certain way or do a certain thing. Some breeders inbreed champion dogs with close relative dogs. So having a dog that's very related to each other, that's what they did. They breed them together to have better looking dogs, right? To make it look very similar. And because of this, it is known as the popular sire syndrome. And what they also did to these dogs is that they put them in puppy mills. Put a whole bunch of dogs in not giant cages, small cages. And actually, I have a picture of it right here. There's a whole bunch of cages filled with a whole bunch of dogs just so they can make money. The solution to for this is for us to look for other areas to find dogs, like the shelter. Adopting a local dog can help them very much because a lot of times they've been abandoned, lost, and they're strays. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just they need love and care. It is a win-win situation. You get a loving dog and you save their lives. Because we know what happens when they don't get adopted. They most likely get pulled down because they don't have enough space to take care of all these dogs. Even though they tried their best to take care of them. And people might still decide to get pure breeds, right? Because they want it to look a certain way or have a certain type. Some believe that certain breeds are more family friendly or protective, and that's true. So it makes sense sometimes. But more people should be informed on what really happens to pure breeds and why it's a good idea to look for shelters for a forever home for these dogs. We shouldn't support these breeders, but we should support shelters that help dogs that have been abandoned because they might not have a certain breed. Doesn't mean they're worthless. Thank you for listening to me.